What's up, you guys? Welcome back to the Salt Check Podcast. My name's Bryce, aka Brusta Jablonca. I'm here with
Kaleb or War Monkey 75.
What are we here for today?
We're here for our yearly horror salty marathon. I didn't know what I wanted to say. I just knew that there are multiple ways I could say it. This year we watched 52 movies because we wanted to. We had the time, but also we wanted to finish a trilogy. That's just how it worked out. So, got more movies to rank. And this episode will be movies 52 to 41.
Part 1 of
Yes,
5.
Part 1 of 5.
Second annual spooky, salty, sucky marathon.
Awesome.
We got a friend this year.
Special guest.
Well, we had him last year, but he wasn't in the camera.
Wow.
He's a little tall, so you can see his lippies, and if he feels like talking, he can talk. I'll give him the mic if he needs to.
He's pretty shy though.
He's a big Packers fan.
He's always happy about the new year as well.
Yeah, but nobody will know that.
Oh.
Maybe if I show his full face, you'll know what we're talking about. All right. So, let me go over the watch order. Get the part 1's going to be usually longer. This one will be especially longer because we're doing 12 movies. So, that, and I have to go over the watch list, and we'll go over all the decades we watched and all the time we put in. So, all right, here we go. Watch order. Bear with me. If you want to know what year the movie is, unless it's like super not obvious, I will say it, because obviously there's some that are remakes and stuff that will or will not be watched. But if you are curious to see every movie, our lists, you can go follow us on Letterboxd. I can't remember what my name is. I think it's like Brusta Jablonca 77. Nope, just Brusta Jablonca, no spaces.
I think mine is just War Monkey 75.
Yep. So if you want to go look at the watch order, and then we'll have our ranked list out once we are fully done with the series. So, without further ado, 1 through 52, these are the watch order, not our ranking, just the watch order. We got Hellraiser, the original. We have Pearl, Peeping Tom, Eyes Without a Face, and American Werewolf in London. We got Midsummer, The Funhouse, Cannibal Holocaust, Signs, The Conjuring 2, Lake Mungo, Willy's Wonderland, Last House on the Left, Black Swan. Oh boy. It Follows, Wreck, You're Next, Jeepers Creepers, Silent Hill, Sinister, Videodrome, Thanksgiving, House of a Thousand Corpses, Rosemary's Baby, Grave Encounters, It, the 2017 or 2016, whatever one that one is, Dracula, the original Dracula, Halloween 3, As Above, So Below, Suspiria, the original, Angst, Opera, Hannibal, The Blair Witch Project, the original, Winnie the Pooh, Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 2, Jesus Christ, Late Night with the Devil, The Invisible Man, Longlegs, X, Possession, Terrifier 2, The Mist, Hereditary, Misery, Smile, Maxine, The Lighthouse, I Saw the TV Glow, Terrifier 3, Terrifier, The Original Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and The Substance. All 52 movies we watched.
Remember it like it was yesterday.
Yep.
And the Invisible Man came out.
That was not the original one. That is the most recent one of that. So
it's like the 2022 or 2023. So not the one that came out in like the 30s. So
I have it written down. That's 2020.
Oh, okay.
That one. Can you guess what decade was the most watched decade of all of them?
Let me think.
They're pretty close race on this one.
I'm gonna go with 70s.
Okay. So number one was the 2020s. We had
That
14
makes
movies.
sense.
2010s was 13. 2000s was 7. We watched one 90s movie. We had 10 1980s movies, 3 70s, 3
Oh.
60s, and one 1930 movie. And our total hours watched were 90 hours and 35 minutes. So there's the stats.
Yeesh.
Have fun with that. We did kind of bleed in November this year, but it was kind of a last second decision. So
Oh well.
yeah. All right. Well, you want to tell me what your number 52 movie is? We did a ranking, like we have our star rating and like the out of 10 ranking. So yeah.
All right.
And if you want to know our like my personal like out of 5, I wrote it on my description in Letterboxd if anyone's confused about that. So yeah. Last place.
Last place, number 52, with a 1 out of 5 and a 2 out of 10.
Okay.
We've got Cannibal Holocaust. The reason this movie is so low is because I can never recommend anyone watch it. It was probably one of the most disgusting things I've ever watched in my life. And I can't unsee most of that movie. I can never confidently be like, yeah, dude, you have to watch Cannibal Holocaust. Like, you have to. Like, oh my god. It is very horrendous. They like released it in theaters, but then they had to take it out because it was too graphic and people were like incredibly concerned for like the actors and like, which totally makes sense. But like, look up the trigger warnings before you watch this movie. Like, I have no problems with it, stuff, but like, seriously, if you do consider watching this, like, it is very heinous. It is incredibly graphic. It's just, I do enjoy the story where, like, yeah, they got some people going into this forest where it's like they have no technology, they're very primal, but
Also, spoiler alert for all these movies. We're
yeah.
going into every one of them. I don't
Yeah.
care. Like, if you do not want to know spoilers, like most of these movies have been out for a very long time. So, like I think the most recent movie was Terrifier 3. So, and The Substance. But yeah.
Yes.
Anyways,
I cannot help but put Cannibal Holocaust at 52. And I would kind of talk to my parents about what we were watching, and I said, we watched this movie called Hannibal Holocaust. And I'm like, please don't ever watch this. Like, God, yeah. I'm never watching that movie again.
yeah. My number 52 is Cannibal Holocaust. With a 1.5 star, I gave it a 2.5 out of 10. And that 2.5 out of 10 is the story. I think it's quite interesting. I think the most I think the best part about that whole movie was the ending where they're like trying to release the movie and the main guy's like, all right, you gotta watch it first though. And then they watched it and they all just walked out of the room without saying anything.
Yeah.
And they went, yep, that makes sense. Yeah, I mean, I think the director went to jail for this movie for a while. All the animals that were killed were real animals, which like pisses me off severely. Like, I don't mind like, bugs, small bugs, but there's like a monkey that got killed.
There was a turtle.
Like a full-on sea turtle got fucking
Dude.
like destroyed. It was like
That was
fucking terrible. Like, I just hated every moment of that shit.
so graphic.
And Yeah, I don't really know what else to say.
Yeah,
Like you said, I don't recommend watching this movie, but
I would never.
if you feel like doing it, just watch it with
Yeah.
your own. Yeah,
You have been warned.
yeah,
It is, yeah. Like, if we weren't so desensitized from Instagram, I think probably would have thrown up at some point.
yeah. And it was one of those things too where it was such an old movie. If someone were to tell me that those animals were fake, I probably would believe it. But it's just the fact that it is real that like
Yeah.
really doesn't sit right with me.
Like,
But that's besides the point. There's plenty of other terrible things that happen in that movie too. So like
so much.
animal cruelty is like just the tip of the iceberg with that
Yeah.
movie. So yeah, that's a rough subject.
Yeah, I don't ever want to watch a turtle get violated like that again. Oh my
No.
god.
Like yeah, no, terrible.
Don't don't watch
Can you
that movie.
not that you're looking. Can you see my paper from here? If you were looking at it,
If I stared at it, I could probably see
the
like
corner.
yeah.
Can you see it now? Don't
Um
actually look.
barely. I think if you move the lightsaber up a little bit. Yeah, now you're good. If I like sit here.
There we go.
But
Not that you're actually looking, but
yeah, I've been like purposely not looking at it.
yeah.
Well, I'm glad we agree on
I was
that.
kind of worried we weren't for some reason.
Yeah.
But
Because I could totally see someone like actually enjoying the fact that they went that far because of different definitions of a horror movie. Like, yeah, this was terrifying to watch, but this is not the kind of horror movie I would like to watch. So,
no.
like, I get it, but it's terrible. All right.
Yeah, yeah. That was a pretty early movie too, so it's
I
like
know. I put it instantly at the bottom and it never left.
yeah. I don't think it left my bottom either. I think it gradually just kept losing score too. It was like at like a 4 and then it just kept gradually going down and down and down and I was like
Yeah.
I can't defend this movie anymore.
No,
So
I don't want to be a cannibal Holocaust defender
No.
either. Like, that would
no, can't do it.
no. Okay.
Number
At 50
51.
51. Um with a 2 out of 5 and a 3.7 out of 10, I've got Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey 2. Significantly better than the first one. I actually enjoyed a lot of this movie. Tigger is awesome. Dude, Owl was super cool though. He was like pretty disgusting, doing the throw up onto people's like
Yeah.
stomach acid throw up onto people's faces.
Yeah.
That was awesome. Like, I'm actually glad they went that far. And like, you know, how I phrased this to my parents was like, you should watch them, but the first one's bad. You're watching the first one to watch the second one. Like,
Mhm.
because, you know, this one actually had not too bad of a story, I
Mhm.
thought,
Yeah.
compared to the first one.
I'll definitely get into mine once I get to mine. But yeah, my thoughts. So yeah.
Yeah, it'll be in the fifth part.
Yeah, you'll have to see it in about 5 hours of actual time.
Yeah. No, Christopher Robin had some pretty good character development, and the fact they went that far and like actually killed his family, it was like, oh my god.
That was,
And then
that was wicked.
yeah, the Winnie the Pooh lore went crazy. There was just this doctor, and he kidnapped these kids, and then he turned them into Pooh, Pooh in the gang.
Yep.
So that was pretty cool. I'm glad they actually did something out of that. So, yes, significantly better than the first one.
Like how 52 and 51 for you is a whole star rating better, not even a half, a full star.
Yeah.
and a 1.7 difference on the scale too.
Yeah. Oh.
All right. Number 51. This is a movie I've been always pretty low on, to be honest. With a 2.7 and a 1.5 star, I have Terrifier 1. I've like get through this one to watch the other two is my best message if you haven't seen anything about Terrifier so far, in my opinion. This movie, I just don't explain it because art is great. Obviously, he's become a horror icon over the past decade or so. Like just the 3 movies, but he also's in like 2 short films that the director's also done too. But it's just tough. There's like the story of this one is super like kind of whatever. You know, this guy's just killing to kill kind of thing. Like there wasn't really much of art. I liked that they started with the news like person that survived or whatever and then went into it. I think that was good. In fact, this went up a half star with this watch because I had it at a 1 initially on Letterboxd. So I think it's just one of those movies where like unless like Terrifier 4 comes out in like 3 years and then I want to rewatch everything, I probably won't ever have to rewatch this movie. Like I can just picture the entire movie in my head.
Yeah.
And I think my biggest like pet peeve about it is just like how long the cat and mouse goes with art and like the people he's chasing. Like
Yeah.
and the character, it's just unfortunate because the characters are super like forgettable compared to part 2 and 3. Like Sienna, like those people are like super memorable. And I also just don't like that the main character just kind of died like halfway through it and then it went to the sister. Like
Yeah. Like,
I could see that being like a final act kind of thing. Like the main character dies like 5 minutes before the sister finds her and then like goes from there. But they kind of switched main characters like midway through the movie, which felt kind of unnatural to be honest. And yeah, I mean, I don't know. The kills were good. That upside down kill scene will go down as one of the more wicked scenes of all time.
Yes.
So, which got art pretty famous based off of that. And I like the props. I'll give them props just because they made this movie with like $30,000 or something like that. They weren't working with much, and yeah, and they've made it a pretty far amount since then. So I'll give them that. But yeah, I'm just still not the biggest fan of Terrifier 1. So yeah.
Funny you say that because at 50 with a 2 out of 5 and a 3.8 out of 10, I have Terrifier 1.
What do you give it out of 10?
3.8.
Okay, I just want to write it down. Then you gave it a 2.5.
Just a 2.
Okay.
Yeah, for a lot of the same reasons you said. There's no like real plot. Like this killer just finds these girls and like stalks them, traps them in a warehouse, and it just kind of like that's really it. And yeah, we get a new protagonist with seemingly zero backstory. Like what she's studying for her test tomorrow, and then she shows up and we're supposed to enjoy her company. Yeah. But art was easily the best part of this movie.
Oh, definitely.
Like he's an icon. And he's, got that unique zero talking. Like he literally makes no noise. Except for
when he finally talks, if he ever talks, I guess.
Yeah. In this movie, he did go shh. So like, I forgot he actually made noise with his mouth in this movie.
There was actually like a part where you saw his like skin.
True. Yeah, when he's putting his makeup on.
But I think that's the whole demon thing they've been doing because he obviously died in this
Yes,
one, and then
yes.
came back as a demon. So obviously he's not gonna have a real face anymore. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
But yeah, I'm always super impressed with the actor. Can't think of his name right now, but yeah, he makes art so expressive without saying any words at all, and like his facial expressions and his like hand gestures and like even the way he walks around is like, damn.
yeah, David Howard Thornton.
Yes,
He's
yes.
very good. Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, you got to do a lot of expressing with someone that doesn't talk. So
Yeah.
you got to be good at that. All right. Number 50 with a 2.9, 1.5 stars. I have Willy's Wonderland. This was just something. Like, this was just a movie. You could tell very FNAF based, knockoff, whatever. And yeah, it's FNAF with Nicolas Cage. That's really all you need to know about it going into it. Nicolas Cage doesn't say a single word the entire movie.
Nope.
He just runs through the entire thing. Like, he runs through every goddamn animatronic in it.
Yep.
And it's just hilarious. The entire movie, I was just like, are you fucking kidding me right now? Like, is this actually happening right now? Like, no words, just him and his pinball machine that he was very into, which, yeah. I mean, there was backstory of like this kid that got, I think the parents got killed or something, and then they got adopted by like a police officer, and
Yep.
I barely can remember any of that at this point. It's just like what I mainly remember is Nicolas Cage fighting the fucking like John Wick animatronic movie. It's just God, like, I don't know. It's one of those things where if you're with your friends, it's gonna be awesome, but if you're by yourself, you're probably like, all right, like,
Yeah.
I'm kind of over this shit, to be honest. But it was like, it's worth a watch with like a big group of friends that are just like having a fun time. So that's all I really gotta say about that.
At number 49, with a 2 out of 5 and a 4 out of 10, I have Grave Encounters. Yeah, like this movie was pretty neat at the start, how they were like filming this TV show, and they like had not come across any like this is a found footage film. Um, they were filming a TV show about haunted locations, and then they actually came across a place that was haunted, and shit hit the fan. Yeah, this was enjoyable. I just felt like the gimmick got pretty old quickly. They were just trapped in this asylum. Like, as soon as the doors started disappearing and they started getting lost, they got lost for about an hour, and I was just like, all right. Like, they just started losing people, and just, yeah. But no, the story was, like, I really liked how this movie was set up. It was like, yeah, we started reviewing the footage, and then we got to episode 6, and then it shows it. But yeah, being in that situation would be pretty terrifying. But yeah, I just kind of got old of the gimmick. That's really about it.
Fair enough. I will get into my opinions about that when I bring it up. All right. I might get a lot of hate for this one.
Oh no.
Except this movie did not impress me in the slightest. Well, I shouldn't say that. It impressed me, but my 49th movie with a 3.6 out of 10, 2 stars on Letterboxd. I have Eyes Without a Face. I fucking hated this movie. I think it was very impressive for the time period. I think this was like 1960, 1959, something like that. Um, and it's like one of those, like, I can't remember what language it was in, to be
I think it was
honest.
in French.
French. It's just one of those classic movies that you'd probably see in a film class in college. And I respect it for that. I think it did a lot with what it had. But I think my expectations going into it were just very high because it's a rated 3.9 on Letterboxd. I was like, all right, like, and it looks like, without any context, it looks pretty freaky before you watch it. And it was just kind of like, I don't want to say like bad, but it was just kind of disappointing to me. And like, I liked the whole aspect of everything going on, and like the doctor, like, and whatever, the dad or the doctor, I can't remember if they're both, or
It's both, yeah.
kind of like killing girls to take their face and try and fix the daughter, and it just doesn't work ever, like over and over again. Like, and then there's just dogs trapped in a place for some reason. I can't exactly remember why that happened. This was our fourth movie, so this is nearly 2 months ago. But yeah, definitely one that I could see if I rewatched it, maybe I'd appreciate it more. But I just had such high expectations. I also just I'm super. Me and Kale were super desensitized to like scary things. Like nothing really like freaks us out that much. So when I'm just sitting there, like, and the movie starts like creepy as hell. Like the sound, like the score is like creepy. The car ride is
Yeah.
creepy. And it's like that one girl, her theme every time she comes on, it's like the assistant. I can't remember. She had a theme song every time she came on the screen. She was like dumping a body or something. And it was
Yeah.
like, all right, like I'm pretty into this so far. And then it just kind of, yeah, it just kind of like repeated itself a lot. I like the ending, how she escaped and
And the dogs.
the dogs ran. Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty cool. But yeah, probably gonna get a lot of hate for that. But I don't know. It just didn't really impress me as much as I thought it was going to. So yeah.
Alrighty. At number 48, with a 2.5 out of 5 and a 4.5 out of 10, I've got Thanksgiving. Now, I didn't not like this movie. I thought it was a little predictable that it was the police officer, because when it wasn't anyone else and he was kind of at the crime scene and the school and like everything, you're like, okay, it's gotta be him. Like, it has to be. Who else is it going to be? Um, but yeah, the whole like shopping market scene was pretty insane. Of like stomping people and ripping like skin off was like, ah.
Yeah, that was pretty wicked work. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, like this is definitely a movie. We're getting into the like, maybe I'd rewatch this.
Yeah, your rankings are like going up pretty quickly. So it's not like you don't like these
Yeah,
movies going
yeah.
forward. Like it's a 2.5.
Mm-hmm.
Like 2.5's like not amazing, but it's definitely like
Yeah,
not
for
bad
sure.
either. So
Yeah. No, I definitely watched this like around Thanksgiving.
maybe we'll
Obviously.
watch it soon.
Yeah. um, I think we could use a couple more Thanksgiving horror movies. That would be neat. But yeah, it like the final fight at the end was pretty goofy with the giant turkey and like uh that was fun. But yeah, like this wasn't too bad.
Yeah. Here comes another one that I'm gonna get a lot of hate for.
Oh, great.
And I think I could argue that I could maybe put Eyes Without a Face above this, but I think I just like this one a little bit more. Um,
What are you about to say?
with a 4 out of 10, 2-star. This is super disrespectful. But I'm not trying to be.
Jesus Christ.
I have Dracula, the original. I'm just starting to realize that unless it's Boris, I'm just not a big fan of these older movies. I just fuck with Boris so much. Like, yeah, Dracula. I thought it's just. I'd argue I liked Nosferatu better than this movie, and I
Really?
wasn't really that big of a fan of
Yeah.
Nosferatu. I think I've grown on Nosferatu though, just because him as a character is badass as fuck. So, I will say that like the scene with the spiral stairs at the end was really cool, just because. I mean, this movie's from like what 1940, 1930,
I
and
think
like it looked
was
pretty
like
goddamn good.
31 maybe.
I think you're right. 1931 sounds right at least. And I didn't mind the performance from the actual like Dracula. Like
Bela Lugosi. 1931, yeah.
yeah, no, I didn't mind like the performance was great, I thought. And like there's that one guy that was being kind of weird the entire movie.
Renfield.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was kind of throwing me off a little bit, I'm not gonna lie. Like there's just something about him that was like, all right. Like, it was like he came back and they're like, all right, put him back in his room. And then he'd come back and all right, put him back in his room. And then he came back and I'm like, Jesus Christ. Oh, there's Renfield again, fucking yapping outside the door. Like,
Eating flies and on all fours.
yeah,
like,
like come on,
there's a
bro.
boy.
Like he did a good job acting it. It was just like,
Yeah.
all right, like come on. And like the scene with the mirror, like not showing him was cool as hell too. But yeah, I don't know. It's just one of those things where these aren't scary at all. And I'm not ranking them on scare factor, obviously. Like I'm ranking them as a movie, but it's just like, I just don't see myself going back to see this. Unless it grows on me like Nosferatu did. I don't know. I'm definitely willing to watch Nosferatu before the newest one comes out in December, just to rewatch it, obviously. But yeah.
Yeah, I think, and I'll say it when I come across the movies. I think there's definitely some I like want to rewatch, and I think it will be higher. But
Yeah, I can start doing that too. Like I can say that when because I think there's definitely some that if I rewatch it, I think I'll like them better. So
all right, at 47 with a 2.5 out of 5 and a 4.6 out of 10, I've got Halloween 3. Now, my biggest gripe is the fact that they made it a part of the Halloween series. I think this could have just been its own movie. Like, even though it had nothing to do with Michael Myers or his mask, they were like, oh, let's slap a big name on it and have something to do with the masks, but not have any of them be Michael's mask. Like, this could have been, yeah, its own movie by itself. Which I didn't really that maybe like knocked off half a star because that's like how it ended up being. But a pretty solid gimmick, like murdering masks and you're putting them on children. Like you're actually gonna kill all these children, and like the Shamrock.
pretty wicked.
Yeah. It was, yeah. No, like I did enjoy this. I probably would rewatch it. I don't know if it'd go any higher, maybe to a 3. But yeah, it could have just been its own movie.
Fair enough. Okay. At number 47 with a 2 stars, 4.2 out of 10, I have The Funhouse. This was a movie that I was very skeptical going into it because I had never heard of it, and it was on our list. And
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know. Like, there's been a shocking amount of like scary carnival movies that just haven't really done much for me. So I was just like, we'll see about this. And the beginning was really weird. Like the dad was like hitting on the daughter, and I was like, this is kind of weird.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the gimmick of like them like, oh, let's be like super sketchy and let's sleep over in the fun house. Like that was interesting, I guess. And there's like I don't know if the people running it was just like one big like inbred family or something, but
Kind of, yeah.
like yeah, I don't remember what the guy's name was in the mask that had the funny mouth. Um, I'll have to look it up. He was
I think
probably
it's
my
called
favorite part though.
Creature. I think they call it the Creature.
Yeah, but didn't he have a name though? I could have swore they were calling him something.
Yeah. Something like Carl.
Something.
Um,
They're all just like weird names. The Barker. Bag Lady. Here, let me try and find it. Is he really not like one of the top billed actors in this?
no. It's like hard to find.
The Funhouse Creed. What did he say? What did he say they're
Pretty sure
calling
they
him?
called him the Creature.
Creature name. Gunther.
Gunther! That's right.
Yeah, so Gunther is cool. I mean, obviously something was a little off with him. He was wearing that mask the entire time and it's kind of being funny and shit.
Yes.
And then he took it off. He was trying to get some from some lady, and then took it
Yeah.
off and started drooling all over her and shit. And then he got really angry and killed her. And it was like, oh,
Madam Zeno.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's just one of those like, okay. I don't really know what to say about it, honestly.
Sure.
It was just fine. I think I had a little bit more fun with the character. I think that was the only reason why it went up a little bit more than like the classic horror movies that I have already talked about.
Yeah.
Just because it was like kind of a newer idea, but yeah.
At number 46, with a 2.5 out of 5 and a 4.8 out of 10, I've got Willy's Wonderland. This this movie's kind of awesome.
Surprised you have it at this high.
I laughed so much during this movie.
Yeah, it's pretty goddamn funny.
Yeah, I would totally rewatch this movie if I was like, man, what do I not really want to pay attention to? But what do like this was a good background noise movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, just the Nicolas Cage beatdown was like I can't get over it. It's so good.
So goddamn goofy.
Yeah. And like man, he was like, I gotta pay off this debt. Well, he obviously
He didn't say that,
it, but he like crashed his
get my
car.
car back.
He's like,
but he was like,
shit,
mm-hmm.
I need to pay the. He's like, you got any jobs? But he didn't say anything. like, how did he end up?
He wasn't like anything. He was just like, mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Mm.
No, awesome animatronic beatdown movie. I liked it a lot.
Also, the whole cult thing, like all the employees like ran the cult of the building and then killed themselves to stay there forever or whatever, so it wouldn't get like taken down, which is like, that's fine, but didn't really impress me much. I'm all for Nicolas Cage getting paid like nearly like 75% of the budget to do nothing.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I remember when we started watching it and we're like, does he not say anything in this movie?
that was the thing I told you that I got spoiled about, because I was like, oh, like, because he like, there's openly parts where he could have talked, and then I remembered in the back of my head that was the one thing I got spoiled about this movie, where Nicolas Cage didn't say anything, and I went, holy fuck. So they were those things I was seeing on the internet were true. He like literally doesn't say anything, and he got paid like $1 million to do nothing besides like beat the shit out of animatronics the entire movie.
Awesome.
So, yeah. All right. So this one was kind of tough to rank here. I don't know. I'll explain more when I say it, but at number 46 with a 4.5 or 4.5 out of 10, 2.5 stars, I have Lake Mungo. And I enjoyed this movie a lot. I think for a mockumentary style movie, it did its job really goddamn well. Like if I was not sober and you told me this was real, I probably would believe you. Like Um, and there's this parts of this movie that were like really fucking like this is gonna sound dramatic, but like bone chilling. Like it was like, oh, that's fucked. Like,
Yeah.
but like I don't know how to explain this. One of my favorite horror movies of all time is Hell House LLC, which is a found footage horror movie like this one. And I just think the found footage aspect just worked better in that one, and it was way goddamn scarier than this. I think this felt it was obviously kind of a horror movie because it was like all these things are connecting to how she died. Like this family's
Yeah.
grieving over I can't remember her name, but like the girl that died,
Yeah.
like they were all grieving over her. Nobody really knows why she died, and they were like going through all this stuff and the scenes where like it was like the camera and like you thought she was walking around ended up being the brother, and I was like,
Yeah.
that one kind of like annoyed me. But then it turned out she was actually in some of the pictures,
Yeah.
and it was I just feel like it lost the plot a bit because I was really invested when it was like picture of the backyard and she's like morphed into the background. And I was like,
Yep.
okay. And like there's like parts of her walking around the house. I'm like, okay. And then it wasn't even like a dramatic family scene of him being like, fine, it was me, I did it. I was the one editing these things. It was just like a nonchalant, like also found out the brother was just editing the pictures. So
Yeah.
it's like,
Oh.
oh.
Okay.
So there goes all the scary aspect of the movie that they had been building up for like 40 minutes.
Yes.
But like I said, as a mockumentary, I think it worked out really well. I think overall, pretty good stuff. Like the whole like was he like a future reader or something? Like the guy that they were like had tag along.
He was is the people that speak with the dead. It's called keep talking.
I don't know. He just randomly
uh
started tagging along, which was like cool. But then they like found out that he had talked to the daughter, like, and never let him know about it. And he was just like kind of like tagging along with him.
yeah.
And it was like one of those things where like he felt guilty, so he was like really trying to stay with this family. And like the final scene was like the daughter and the like mom's dreams, or like they were closing their eyes and had to explain what they saw. Like they matched up perfectly or whatever.
A medium.
Yeah,
That's what he was.
medium. They were like the mom and the daughter's like thoughts when they were talking matched up perfectly, and it was like my mom can't see me but I'm there and I don't see anyone in my room or like whatever. But which I thought was cool. I thought that was a fun ending. But there's just parts where it kind of just took me out of it, like the brother editing everything was
Yeah.
like okay. But overall like I said with Kaleb when he got to like 2.5, this is a 2.5 out of 5. Like 5 out of 10 is not great, but it's not like I hated the movie or anything.
Yeah.
So yeah,
At number 44 with a
I think we're at
2.5
45.
or yeah, you're right. At number 45 with a 2.5 and a 4.9 out of 10, I also have Lake Mungo. Yeah, this is the movie I was thinking about when I was like, I want to rewatch this movie and it might go higher.
I think it was just weird to compare this movie to other movies because it's like so different from all these other movies that we're watching.
It's like super eerie when it shows the old footage, which is awesome. Like especially all the videos and stuff. You're like, cause it looks super good.
Yeah.
And like the pictures, and it's like, well, it's a little cheesy when it zooms in like 4 times, and you're like, is that a person?
It was like the one in the woods that where
Yep.
she was like walking away, but like it could have been any woman.
Yeah.
Like
You're
it
like,
was like, all right, dude.
Like,
is that really her?
yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, I would like to rewatch this movie. I think this could maybe even hit a 3, 3.5.
Yeah, because people I follow giving it like 3.5 fours, and I was like, I don't know if I totally agree with that at the moment, but
Yeah, it's got potential. But yeah, like you were saying, I was really invested until they were like, the brother was like, eh.
I was just faking it to keep her alive, and
Yeah.
it's like, I feel like that could have been like, I don't really know what to compare it with, but like it could have been like one of those scenes where someone was recording them in the like eating dinner and something gets really like tense and he's like, "Fine, I was the one who did it." Like that would have been like okay, like some emotional type scene
Yeah.
where it's like he's doing it because he cares, but it was like a oh he like faked it and everyone was disappointed and like it just kind of moved on. I was like
Yeah.
okay, like
They could have done a like, oh, he's been dressing up as her to like like to remember her, and then it was like, oh no, she's possessing him. Like it could have been like crazy and drastic, but it was super nonchalant, and I don't really think that worked too well.
also the neighbor just going into their fucking house
Yeah,
and like they had a secret door to keep like her like shit safe like
bruh.
and then like and then the mom was just walking to people's houses too. I'm pretty sure like it's like what the fuck is going on? Like I know Midwestern like culture, like if you're really close with like your entire like community, just like whatever. But like they're just walking into people's
Yeah.
houses and shit.
Alright.
It was like that like there's like a 30-minute period where you thought like the daughter had like her like spirit was sitting in a chair, but they're like, yeah, that was the neighbor. And it was like, what? Like, the neighbor is sitting in the fucking chair?
Okay.
Yeah, like what? Okay. So yeah. Lake Mungo.
Yeah.
Um number 45 with a 4.7 out of 10, 2.5 stars. I have The Last House on the Left. I hope that wasn't loud. I just hit the microphone slightly. Yeah, this one was interesting. It kind of started slow, like I don't know, like two girls were like trying to get drugs before a concert or something, and then they got abducted by these people that just got out of prison,
Yep.
and they tortured her. I don't know. It's like this is like a super like I think we watched this like pretty close after Cannibal Holocaust, and I feel
It
like
was like one or two movies
and it was like
after it.
one of those things where like if I hadn't just watched Cannibal Holocaust, I'd be like, damn, this fucking sucks. But it was like super desensitized because of that.
Yeah.
It's just like disturbing. Like and then I think the only thing that kept it alive for me was really like the last like 15, 20 minutes of like the parents getting their revenge. I was like,
Yeah.
I'm all for this shit.
Yeah.
Like they found their daughter dead by the fucking lake or like whatever, like the pond, and her friend had been like killed too. And they're just practically torturing her this entire fucking movie. And like the parent, you cut back to the parents being like, "Oh, I wonder how they're doing at the concert," and then the cops that just took fucking the entire movie to do anything,
God.
and they get there right when the parents do something bad. It's like, god damn it, like really. And like I'm sure that's the whole point of it, but it was like and the cops drove by the bad people's car and did
And they went-
nothing.
Yeah, they drove by it, went, eh. They came back later and went, oh no!
Yeah. Oh no. And then the dad just like tried to pull this full on like Home Alone bullshit on like the rest of the people.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then the mom like bit that guy's dick off, and it was like, what the fuck is going on? Like this movie went from like literal snuff to like fucking like what is going on?
Yeah.
Um
Chainsaw around the living room.
yeah, like okay. Yeah, I mean I definitely wouldn't be opposed to rewatching this at some point, and I don't know, like I forgot to mention this with Willy's Wonderland, but like I love the like streaming services that like give you free movies, but the ads like really like slow down the like pace of the movie sometimes. I felt that with Willy's Wonderland. Like there's parts where it was like, all right, Nicolas Cage is gonna fight this guy, and then it was like 2 minute ad, and I was like, okay.
Yeah.
And then I can't remember if it was like Tubi or something for this one, but it was like every part where it was like I'm finally like really starting to get into this, it was like 3 minute ad, and I was like, oh jeez, dude. Like I just want to watch the movie. So yeah, I like I said, I definitely would not be opposed to rewatching this eventually. So yeah.
Alrighty. At 44, with a 2.5 and a 5 out of 10. Well, 2.5 out of 5. 5 out of 10. I have Terrifier 2. I would also like to rewatch this one. Because it had been a couple years since I watched Terrifier 1, but obviously there's really no story to remember besides the one girl that survived.
Yeah,
so
I was
it's
like, there's like nothing to go off the first one.
yeah. So I was a little confused for a majority of the movie. Because I was like, who's this random girl that keeps appearing next to Art? Like, I was like, what? And obviously she was his imagination, but
Yeah, like even if we watched the first one first, you would have been about as confused
I
as
would have
before.
been so clueless.
Yeah.
But you know, this one's a little bit more gruesome than the last one. But yeah, I definitely enjoyed this more than the first one. The first one was not good. I would definitely rewatch this again. Like way more character development for Art. We got introduced to Sienna and the fam. These movies are more of like less of a jump scare and more of like we're following Sienna. Okay, now we're following Art because we do get a lot of Art like on screen too, even when he's by himself, like crafting new weapons.
Yeah.
Like I do enjoy that for these types of movies. It's less of like, oh my god, he's here, and more of like, all right, let's see what Art's up to. Like,
Yeah.
what's he scheming?
Yeah, I never really like. I think the first one I tried to do jump scares a little, and then they kind of went, let's just move on. Like, let's just try something else. Which I'll get into mine eventually. But yeah,
Yeah, it's definitely more gruesome. There's like just bashing people in this movie. And, like that's probably what that would look like.
yep,
Yeah, and like the whole maybe this is her dad, like using her dad's body type thing because he was obsessed and then died, and then it's like is he gonna show up at some point? What's going on?
yeah. The third one definitely helped with that a little
Yes.
bit,
but the sword, the bit with the sword's a little cheesy. Like, oh, okay. But then it got a little crazy with like the portal to hell. It was like, okay, whoa, what is happening?
yeah,
And yeah, they went kind of in that direction that Blood and Honey went, where they like actually killed the mom, and I was like, oh my god, they actually did it! Like,
yeah.
I was like, there's no way they're
She
doing
got
it.
double pumped to the fucking face.
Yeah.
Her head exploded. Like
Yeah.
it was brutal.
Like I remember when that scene happened too, and I was like, Art's gonna be in the car, like he has
Yeah,
to
he
be.
said that, and then I was like, "Oh, just you wait." Yeah, you said that. I went, "Oh, just you wait a second."
One moment,
Yeah.
please. And then he was in the car. Kaboom! It was like, Jesus.
Pulled out the Fortnite fucking big ass barrel gun.
Yep.
Fucking shot her in the face.
Crazy.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
At number 44. 1 sec. There we go. All right. At number 44, with a 4.8 out of 10, 2.5 stars. I have Grave Encounters. This is a comfort movie for me. It's just like one of those goofy movies that like I'm pretty sure me and Forrest found on YouTube for free, and we were like, "This is fucking awesome!" Like, it's not a good movie, but it's a good movie. You know what I'm saying? I always forget his fucking name. Houston. Houston's fucking hilarious. Like the whole like cuts in between takes are funny because like they're like obviously this is super like I can't remember what the original show is called. This is super like directly from that show. What the fuck is it called? Ghost Adventures or whatever it's
Something
called.
like that, yeah.
It's like the main character of this looks exactly like the main character from that. It's like clearly a ripoff.
Yeah.
And it's like I kind of agree. Like as a movie aspect, like it just kind of kept going, and like I think that's like the downfall slightly of this movie is it just kind of kept going and going and going, and I feel like I liked exploring like the building, but it just at a certain point you never really know where you're at anymore, even if they explain where they are, and you know, and it's like pretty creepy. It's like that would fucking suck if this really happened. Like the whole like time just pretty much speeding up, but you like the sun's never going down. Like you're pretty much trapped in like a hell cycle inside of there. Your friends keep disappearing, getting like possessed and shit. It would suck. Like it'd be a terrible situation to be in. But after a while, it's just kind of, and then like I like the ending where they like find like where they're doing like the surgeries and shit, and like clearly they're demonic people because they're not real, but like they're still doing that shit down there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's another one of those boys movies that you just throw on with a ton of people, and you're like, ah. So yeah.
At number 43, with a 2.5 out of 5 and a 5.1 out of 10, I have Smile. This was my first time watching Smile, and you know, I think this was like one of the best ways to promote a movie was, you know, paying people to go to like highly televised sports stuff or sports things or things in general and have them smile. Like that's great. So like people are like, this thing's actually real. I think the bit I remember the most about this movie is when the therapist comes in, and like this is like near the end, and she's like, "Oh, how are you doing? I've been so worried about you." And then the real therapist calls her on the phone, and you're like, "Oh,
Yeah. Oh, this fucking sucks.
and she smiles, and she's got like this wretched smile too. You're like, "Oh,
Oh.
yeah."
Oh.
Like you're like, "Dang nabbit, you got me."
This fucking sucks.
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty spooky. It's very similar to another movie we watched. We'll say that movie when I get to it. But yeah, pretty easy gimmick, but I do like the sort of bit where you can't trust anyone. Like that's cool. So,
Yeah. We're on 43, right?
yes.
All right. This one I'm going to preface. I would like to rewatch it. Maybe the rewatch would help the rating, maybe. But just against everything and just based off what I remember, my 43rd movie with a 5 out of 10, 2.5 stars, I've Angst. You just follow a deranged killer that just got out of jail, and it's pretty much like him talking to himself. Like you pretty much hear what he's thinking at all times.
Yeah.
And he's like, I need to fucking kill somebody.
Yeah.
I need it, dude.
Yeah.
And he just finds a random family house, breaks in, Well, first he goes and eats a huge fucking sausage at some random cafe, which is just like, I don't know what language this movie is like initially in or whatever, but I was like, interesting. It's just a fucking huge wiener on a plate with some sauce. I was
Yeah.
like, okay, I don't I don't know what culture this is, but
Gotta be the
interesting.
UK, man.
Yeah, like what the fuck?
Then they're eating crazy stuff over there.
But like it's just like you just follow this deranged ass dude that just kills this family of three. Like that's the entire movie. You like hear him like, oh shit, like I hope nobody's here, and then they like get home and he's like, it's just like for like how many like times it seems like he's gone to jail, he like doesn't even know what he's doing still. It's like he's like jambling around, like half ties this like the girl down the tape, like she's like kind of hanging off the doorknob. Like it's like okay, like, and there was like a special needs character in it, and he just kind of like kicks him out of his wheelchair, and it's like that's fucked
Drags him
up.
up the stairs,
Yeah.
puts him in the bath. Like, oh.
And it's like oh fuck, and like it's like this grown ass man and like the grandma like type mom, like she's an older woman, like put up a fight against this guy for a while. They're just like kind of like strangling each other off and on, and then like the main girl's like, you need to give my mom meds, and then she's already dead, and he's like, fuck, I didn't get to kill her myself. Like
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. And then it was like one of those things where like it just I don't know, because it's like not like maybe it's just because we watched Cannibal Holocaust and it just ruined everything else. But it was like one of those things where I'm like, this sucks, but like it's not as bad as Cannibal Holocaust, and it's like fuck, did I just ruin my like perspective of every movie going forward, like gore wise, just because fucking Cannibal Holocaust? Um, I don't know. Like I thought it was good. I think it was like that. Like it was a true story too, which sucks, but
Yeah.
well acted. I can't imagine like being an actor getting dragged on concrete for like longer than like a minute, but I can't imagine how much that sucked. And he just throws him in the car. That takes him like 15 minutes to do. He's like unhatching the gate, driving in, throwing him in. He has to unhatch the gate again. It was just like Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. Like I'm obviously not supposed to be rooting for this guy, but I'm also like,
Let's see what he
all
does.
right, come on, like yeah, time's ticking, buddy.
Yeah.
Like you're like he's like individually opening every door until he just finally decides to jump through like glass eventually, and it's like okay, like I don't know. I found it. This is gonna sound terrible. I found it to be quite funny at times, but like it's just like, what am I supposed to like? Am I supposed to be sitting there like, ugh, like I don't know. And it's a pretty high rated movie on Letterboxd too. Like it's not like this is some like 2.5 star movie. Like this movie has 3.7 out of 5 stars on Letterboxd, and most of the top reviews are like 4.5, 5. Like just talking about how good this movie is, and I'm like, I don't know. I don't like. I'm not gonna knock the movie, but I'm also like, I don't know if it's that good. So, yeah, angst,
Angst. Alrighty.
which I'm pretty sure means like, it like meant something in a different language. Let me look that up real quick.
Okay.
Because I was like, because he kept saying angst in his language, but it, like I couldn't really tell what it meant.
Say just saying it with a British accent. Maybe it was like Italy.
I need to look up what the angst movie. What is it?
Angst.
It's French German. Oh yeah, it was German because we were like, oh, these guys are definitely German.
Oh yeah.
Fear. That's what it means in German. Fear. Okay.
Alrighty. At 42 with a 2.5 out of 5. And a 5.2 out of 10, I have It Follows. This movie and Smile were the same movie in my brain for a little bit. It is an extremely similar concept with the, like, it's just gonna follow you till it kills you. Oh no. I just felt this one was a little more ruthless just because this one will not stop.
Hmm.
Like Smile, like plays tricks on you, but this one just comes at you and you can't really like do anything. They tried. They tried.
Yeah, they tried quite a few times.
Yeah. Um but yeah, those two movies, I don't know. I felt they were like trying pretty hard to make something original and like I get their idea. It just doesn't really wasn't super good in my book, but I wouldn't like not watch it if someone offered it. It was just eh,
No, I was gonna say don't do it again.
but I keep going.
Don't.
But yeah,
I was like a second away from closing my ears there. I thought you were just gonna keep going.
aside.
Anyways. All right. Number 42 with a 5.1 out of 10, 2.5 stars. I have Terrifier 2.
Ayo.
This is my second watch of Terrifier 2. So the like super confusing like was
Yeah.
this stuff in the first movie didn't really hit for me here because I had watched it already. It's just I'd like I'm willing to say it's like so much better than the first one. It's like not even fucking close. Like
Yes.
and like they up the kills, which is like
Yep.
just kind of like what you'd hope out of this kind of movie. Like the first time I watched it, the thing that really like took me out of it was the whole like demon like spawn shit at the end, which is like what the fuck is going on? Like we all kind of knew Art had to have been like reborn somehow because he was obviously fucking dead. He killed himself in the first
Yeah.
one and then he's like it was like the cliffhanger of him like coming back to life already in the first
Awesome.
one and then you go from there. And then you kind of like find out that that little girl is like the demon that brought him back and it can take different forms of different things and it took a different form in Terrifier 3, which I personally like that form more than this one. It honestly it makes it a lot more sense that it
Yeah.
went to that one. We'll get in that in a bit, but like Sienna and Jonathan, like characters that you really like care about, which was very lacking in the first one. Like
I know.
I just did not care. Like and it was just like one of those things where like the friend was being so obnoxious like in the first one and it was like probably her fault they died. She just kept talking and she was drunk and then
Yeah.
uh, and I like this one much more. Obviously, it takes a big leap because it's like you go from like Art, who's just like a guy killing people, like Demon Art, who's like this big popular guy now in this area because obviously he killed people last year and
Yep.
everyone's afraid of him and couldn't find his body and whatnot. But I just think this was so much better than the first one. And I think as much as it confused me the first time watching it, I think the whole like hellspawn shit and like the sword being goofy, like I think it makes this like franchise more interesting rather than it just being like a slasher. So, and it kind of just gives them like the freedom to do anything too. Like Art can die however many times, he can just come back to
Yeah.
life. So, yeah, that's all I really gotta say about that.
I hope I don't get hate for this because I read some reviews and then I really understood it. But
This is our last one of this video.
yeah, I'm sorry, everyone. Um, at number 41, I gave it a 3, okay? With a 3 out of 5 and a 6 out of 10, I have I Saw the TV Glow. Um, I didn't really put it together, that it kind of symbolized like people being trans, not like accepting who you are, until like way after the movie, and I was like, oh, I gotta watch this again.
Yeah,
Like,
I definitely want to rewatch this again.
yes.
Like I'll get to it when I like obviously get to it, but yeah.
Yes, I definitely think it will get higher after I watch it again. But I was just a little confused. Um, it was like, wow, he's really faced with this choice of literally being buried alive and dying, or like continue kind of suffering. So it was like, like, what do you do? So he continued to suffer, not become who he truly like thought he was, and he ended up just, suffocating and stuff like that. But yeah, I really thought the what's it called? Like the pink incognito or
That's definitely not what it's called.
the pink cornucopia. Like it's the pink
Fuck, what is
orange.
it? The pink. It was like something. Let me look it
The
up.
pink acopia, the pink pink translucent,
The Pinko Peg.
pink opaque.
Yeah.
Yes. I found that show to be like super interesting actually.
Yeah.
Especially when they showed like the ones when they were like a lot younger, and it was like the actual terrifying ice cream man. I was like,
Mm.
"Oh, this is going to be awesome. They're going to show so many like episodes." And they didn't, which was a little disappointing. But yeah, I think this will definitely hit harder on the rewatch now that I like kind of know what it's hinting at.
Mm.
Because yeah, it was a little bit confusing, and there were a lot of tough decisions that were made or not made in this movie that I was like, damn. So yeah,
Yeah.
enjoyable, but I want to rewatch this.
Mm. Okay, my last movie for this episode, number 41, with a 5.2 out of 10, 2.5 stars. I have Smile. So I made it very abundantly clear to Caleb when we went into this that I like had watched this movie and I gave it like a 1 star. And I was like, I don't know why though. I don't really remember it.
Yeah.
And as the movie went on, like there was things where I was like, I don't remember this shit. But like I remember why I hated it, and I think it was because of the ending. I do not like the ending to this movie at fucking all. And it's like super unfortunate because I was like really fucking with it again. I was like, and I really want to watch Smile too. Like that one's
Yeah.
like, it's unfortunate we didn't get to it. I will probably have to. I'm probably gonna have to watch that before we get to next year though, because I definitely want to know. Because I also love Naomi Scott, but it was like I was enjoying it. There was like, but I do remember why like other things I don't like about it. Like the husband was just like terrible to her the entire time. It was like,
Yeah.
really? Like,
Yeah.
and the fucking like the dead cat birthday party scene fucking sucks every time. And that's not like why I'm degrading or like degrading it, downgrading it, but it's like that's like a good part of the movie. It's like that fucking sucks. Like, and she doesn't remember it at fucking all. The thing I remember that scene, but I thought she had just put a knife in it, and because I thought the kid pulled out a knife. Maybe it was like this like huge Mandela effect I was having when I rewatched it. I thought the kid pulled out a knife, and everyone was like, "What? Why would you give the kid a knife?" But it was literally the dead cat in that fucking box. Like,
Yeah.
that sucked. It's just, and I don't mind the main character dying at the end. Like, if you want to keep going with the series, that's fine. But it was just the fact that like she put up with their fears. It's like this whole childhood trauma too that like nobody
Yeah.
wants to be a part of. Like the mom killed herself and or like OD'd and she didn't call the cops. She was like, "You're not a good parent," pretty much. And also off topic, but why wouldn't they just fucking chop that house down? That shit is
I don't.
terrible. Like she's like, we need to keep it like in the family. It's a fucking box of wood scraps, brother. Like that place was disturbing.
Sell it.
Like or just destroy it and like rebuild something and sell that. Like
Yeah.
that house was terrifying.
Yeah.
And it was like she was just like sitting there with no lights on and I'm like, this is wicked work.
It
like,
sucks.
like that's actually crazy. But I just like cuz she beat it and then like she went all the way home or whatever, like she drove away and then she woke up and she was there again and I was like, really? And then I got her and I was like,
Yeah, because the
really?
ex came around.
And then she lit herself on fire. So
Yeah.
yeah. And now that guy has it. So and I want to know what happens to him.
Yeah.
So yeah, not as bad as the first watch. I don't really remember the first watch I had of it, but I also just like really don't like the ending. And I think there's just a better way of going about it than like I was really getting invested with like this had like this whole curse had been going on for a lot longer than it seemed. Like every person got it and then one murdered someone so they didn't get it and then it went to
Yeah.
someone else and yeah, so smile. That's the end of part 1.
Wow.
Let us know how you feel about our takes so far. Next episode we will do 40 through 31.
Aw.
So bony. So metally.
Aw.
Aww. Yeah, so stay tuned. 5-part series as per usual. And we'll see you guys next time.
See ya.